door right there.
Run. With a head of steam moving to the outside his chin. Richie says it can't be done. Tony Shallen says turn on the reggae music. If you're gonna pass me, you're gonna do it high.
There is just one more lap remaining, and look how close Modoff is. He got the slipstream.
There we go. 2 laps to settle it in the Blue Emu Firecracker 400. Whatever you got to give it now. Back to green we go.
On the final lap, side by side, they still run wheel to wheel. Now, through the snake, the S's we go. Quaro edges ahead. Modoff is still there.
White flag, one more to go on the Daytona 250. Keplinger leads that lap. Who's going to lead the last one?
To the line, look at that. Dave Chapman's going to send it around the outside final corner. Has he got it done?
Continuing to go side by side for the lead through 3 and 4, and they manage it safely. Now through 5.
And hunting for a way by it all. Round 2 between Phil Sell and Rico.
To the outside. White flag is out side by side. They make contact in the turn number 1. Ooh, gets him onto the grass. Now down to the inside. Andy T, a little bit of a wiggle and the perfect crossover there from Polly Portner to defend the position. Andy T totally sideways. They're still sideways going into Siberia. And getting ready to cross. He goes around the outside, but it's not enough. Eden's up the racetrack. Carbo down the track. A photo finish. James Eden wins it. It's still far across into the braking zone. This is sensational racing. And here comes Bowden. It's going to be a drag race to the end. That's side by side. Who gets it?
Williams tries to cover him off, but once again, pulling the over-under. Daniel Morad is going to win with a last quarter pass.
Newsom's coming up right there. By the corner. It's going to be Hollander's going to come back at him. It's going to be a race to the line. Does he have enough? Down to it.
And a wrecking in 3. Here comes Michael Cozy Jr. Michael Cozy Jr.'s got the lead.
He looks to the inside, side by side for the race lead. Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to EchoPark Speedway for round number 12 of the FNX ARCA Series presented by Misfits Motorsports right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth calling all the action for you guys here today as we are getting ready to close out the season as we have just 2 more races left on the board. Let's go ahead and take a look at our championship standings. Alrighty, right there, ladies and gentlemen, right there on the board, Griffin Deere, he is out front with 2,078 points, and followed behind Jared Ogletree with 2,067 points, Dakota Nichols with 2,041 points, Robert Day with 2,035 points, Brandon Hare with 2,027 points, and rounding out your round of 5 is David Dolliber with 2,026 points. As of right now, Dolber, Ogletree, Deer Day are your only drivers here tonight that have a shot to make it into the final 3 next week when we round out the season. And before we can get to that, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get through this beautiful speedway known as EchoPark, formerly known as Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, let's go ahead and take it down on track as we take a look at one of our qualifiers here. This is Robert Day out of Texas. Currently on top of your leaderboard here
with a 32.46, but now Griffin Deere in that number 6 John Deere Ford Mustang, he took over your top spot. As lap times continue to come in, Griffin Deere, he's getting ready to complete his second lap to start his third lap here. Give me just one moment here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So Griffin Deere, he is out of Toronto, currently on top of the leaderboard. Jared Ogletree, he just came in and put down his first lap time. I'm sorry, he is completing his first lap now. As Dave Dollarber in that number 23 machine, he is coming out of... There he is. Dave Dollarber in the 23 machine, he is now coming out to start his first lap. So going to jump back here to Jared Ogletree as he completes lap number 1. And he puts down a lap time of a 32.370. So just 9 thousandths off of your leader currently of John Deere. I apologize about that. Griffin Deere in that John Deere machine, as he is coming to this tri-oval here again, and he's going to put down a lap time of a 32.361. Alrighty, Dave Dollarber in that number 23 machine. He's coming around to put down a lap time. I don't think this is updating correctly here. Give me just a moment here, you guys. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my overlays, but that's definitely giving off the wrong lap times here. Alright, what are we doing? Wrong hub. Thirty-two, 257. There it goes. Now it's finally catching up here. Mark Diala, he ran a 32.595, and that will shoot him to the top of the charts in that number 2 Red Bull Chevy SS machine. As we are just waiting on 3 other drivers to make their way down onto the track if they're going to put in any sort of qualifying laps. Dilla doing a phenomenal run here. To get that, I'm sorry. Mark, showing he didn't put down the best time. I'm so confused. You know what's not going to give me the wrong results here, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be this right here. Let me go ahead and make this disappear for the time being. So Mark Dilla, he's currently out front here with a 32.257. Griffin Deer with a 32.7 or 274. And then 32.278 for Dolliver. As we have Cameron Ardent coming out here to begin his lap times. All right, so Cameron Ardent just finished out his lap time with a 32 points. 7.5. Okay, well, I know that he just. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers are now getting set up down on pit road. Let's go ahead and take a real quick look here at our starting grid. Starting on your pole for today, it's going to be Mark Dilla in that number 2 machine with a 32.257. To his outside, it's going to be Griffin Deer. On the inside of row number 2, it's going to be Dave Dolliver in that number 23 machine, and Robert Day in the 63 to his outside. Inside, there's Mark Dilla as he's pulling out now. On the inside of row number 3, you have Jared Ogletree and Cameron Ardent to his outside. Jeremy Rittenberg and Zachary Tyler will round out your field here tonight. As we are getting ready to go green flag racing, and Mark Dilla, he's getting his machine back up towards the front where he needs to be for the start of this race. And these drivers get ready now to come out of turn number 3 and 4. 7 drivers currently out here on tap for the event. 100 laps here at EchoPark Speedway as your pace cars get ready to make that hard left down pit road. There he goes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are a green flag racing right here at EchoPark Speedway for the Georgia Grind 100, presented by Misfits Motorsports right here on the iCast Racing Network. As you see, these drivers already getting really close, almost door banging in the middle there of turns 1 and 2. But right now on the inside, Mark Dill is having trouble, and Griffin Deere, he will come down in front of Mark Dill and take over that race lead. And now these drivers are going to get together here and now just run single file for the most part. Mark Dill, he is all over that back bumper of your current race leader. Trying to find a good camera here for us, so I apologize for the moving about of the cameras. That's number 3 of Cameron Arden now trying to make his way up to the front in his Costco Ford Mustang, as he will get right behind Robert Day in that number 63. And Day will lead lap number 2 here at EchoPark. And here comes Dave Dolliber now back to the outside of that number 3 machine of Arden, as they will go side by side on the exit of turn 2. Now we're getting back to that 2 wide formation that we are used to be seeing here at these speedway races. Currently, Jeremy Rittenberg, he is holding up the field in the back. And still side by side now for that second spot. Ardent, he is on the inside. Dave Dolliber on the outside, as he is looking for even more help from that number 2 of Dila as they lead into turns 3 and 4 now. And they will continue to fall backwards now. That inside lane seems like that's where the lane is going to be. And Mark Dill has finally figured that out. He's going to leave that number 23 of Dolliber all to his lonesome self on the outside. So as soon as he can get clear, he's going to drop down right behind that number 2 car. Now the field will run single file. And these guys still got to go 95 more laps. So it's going to be better if they don't really try to wreck each other now early on in this race. And let's get it all the way to the end. So if you just sit here and see these guys running single file for the moment, that is going to probably be what is going to be, you know, the biggest thing for these drivers to do as they make their way out of turn number 2 and down this back straightaway. Looking back from the back bumper of Robert Day, your current race leader, as they will come through the tri-oval now. Everybody just currently staying single file for the moment as they come down this back straightaway now, as we ride on board here with Dave Dolliber out of Steers Sport, Maine. Hear that one driver trying to start to get to the outside here of him, and that'd be Jeremy Rittenberg. He's trying not to be dead last anymore, so he's going to try to make a run. So that single file formation only lasted about 2 or 3 laps, and here comes Ogletree on the outside. He's looking to overtake it from Cameron Arden, as these drivers are now coming down the back straightaway once again, side by side. Robert Day on the inside, that 27 of Ogletree on the outside. And as of right now, none of these guys are giving way. So side by side, they will come down the front straightaway to the start-finish line. And that time, the lap will go to Ogletree in that number 27 Ford Mustang, as he's firing hard on Robert Day on that number 63 on the inside, and his Chevy SS out of turn number 2. Now these guys are doing pretty much 180 mile an hour pace laps around EchoPark Speedway, with Jared Ogletree currently out front leading this field on the exit turn 4 now. So he's getting a really good push from Deere in that John Deere number 6 machine, as they will head back to turn number 1. But here comes Robert Day again in that number 63 machine, fighting hard on the inside of Ogletree as they come out of turn number 2 once again. And Robert Deere, he's getting a good push there from that number 3 of Ardent on the inside. But as of right now, we got 4 cars on top, 3 cars on the bottom. And right now, it seems like that the 4 cars up top are getting the better of the inside at the moment, as Ogletree has been able to take over the race lead from Robert Day, as he will go ahead and drop down to the inside and get in front of Robert Day. So now the question is going to be is, will that outside lane once again, with now John Deere taking over the lead on top? As you see, once again, we got 4 cars on top, 3 on the bottom. Now we're going to find out which lane it is. But Dila, he comes back to the inside, leaving Deere and, I believe that's Jeremy Rittenberg in that 26 machine to the outside to their lonesomes. And there's a big separation now between the 2 cars on the outside. Now everybody will go ahead and single file as they come down the back straightaway. Oh, big movement there from Robert Day, jumping in front of that number 3 machine of Ardent. And Ardent lost a lot of momentum on that exchange. So now Day, he's going to fall all the way back to that 4th spot, and maybe even more, as Ardent is just now getting back to the back bumper of Robert Day. So he's not going to be able to do anything with this run, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and now once again go single file. So now it's Ogletree out front with Griffin Deere in that number 6 machine right behind him, and Dilla in that number 2 Red Bull Chevrolet behind him as well. As you guys see in the back, Robert Day and Cameron Ardent trying to make it work on the outside here once again, but not able to do anything with it, as Ardent falls back, and now they're going to have to go back single file. And Robert Day, he'll have to get behind that number 23 of Dolliver, as these guys continue to click away laps here, as they are working lap number 16 of 100 here at EchoPark. So far, so good for a lot of these drivers here at EchoPark. A lot of good racing hard, but no one's really trying to push any issues so far. And the closest thing I've seen to any sort of contact today was watching Robert Day in that number 63 machine possibly jump up in front of that number 3 of Ardent, and that caused a little bit of a checkup, but luckily there wasn't any contact there. So as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to run single file at the moment as they come out of turn number 4. As they are going to go ahead and possibly look to go 2 wide here once again. But that, yeah, we have Ardent trying to work the outside of Robert Day now by himself. It's not going to happen, as he will get back down here in front of Jeremy Rittenberg in that number 26 machine, as he heads back up top. And now he's got help out of Robert Day. And so now Robert Day and Ardent trying to make something happen on the outside, not able to get anything working out. You know, with just the two cars, I don't think that's going to work out very well. So either Rittenberg, he's going to have to really start sucking up right back behind Ardent on the outside. As you see Dilla in that number 2 machine, he's going to jump up in front of Robert Day, and they will go ahead and bring the 4 cars up top. And now here comes that number 2, Mark Dilla, now making his way out of turn number 4 on the outside. And you see Day there, he abandoned the 2 on the outside. So that was a very interesting call there for Day, abandoning that number 2 of Dilla on the outside, as he is now going to work on the inside of that number 2 machine, as he's looking to take over that 3rd spot. But they continue to run side by side down the back straightaway, as we continue to see laps tick away here, as we are coming to complete lap number 20. All these drivers doing their best they can to keep it together. The outside, we have 2 cars on the outside there fighting for that 3rd spot. That's going to be Dilla and Ardent. And on the inside, you have Dollerberg and Rittenberg on the inside here. And now that number 2 machine of Dilla, he's stuck all to himself. Now he's going to have to get down in front of Rittenberg now here in the trial. But now Robert Day, he's looking for the attack on the outside now. And Ogletree, he goes up to make the block. And here comes Ardent on the outside to help Robert Day. But they're just too far apart. They're not going to get that momentum that they will need on the exit of turn number 2 as they continue to fly around this speedway. They're trying really hard to make it something work on that outside, but just not able to do anything with it just yet. As you see Rittenberg now getting up back there behind Ardent in that number 3 machine. So far, they're just losing ground. Day has an opening on the inside. He's going to take it, leaving Ardent and Rittenberg to themselves on the outside. And now here they come down the back straightaway, still pretty much single file your top 3. That's going to be Ogletree, Deere, and Day. Remember, the top 3 now, these guys are all racing to get into the championship race next week. And so this is going to be very interesting to see who's going to get the advantage heading into the final race. As you see Day back to the outside and Ardent behind him. And now he has Dilla in that number 2 machine also working with him on the outside. Here comes Deere, leaving Ogletree to himself on the inside. A big opening, and that's going to allow Dollerberg to suck up to the 27, but that's going to cost him the race lead, as Griffin Deere, he will retake the race lead here at EchoPark. And now here comes Robert Day looking to come to the outside with company, as they will come out of turn number 2 pretty much with a good head of steam here. But now these guys just going to continue to run side by side down the back straightaway here. Really good racing. Robert Day, he will go ahead and take over that race point, as Ardent, he will go ahead and clear Griffin Deere for that 3rd spot. And now Mark Dilla all stuck to himself on the outside. Not able to get down just yet, but he's going to be able to get down right behind Rittenberg. As of right now, Rittenberg back there in that number 26 machine, he's really showing that he's not really here, for points, as he's pretty much, he's keeping this field together. As soon as one car gets left out to dry, he immediately lets them down so he can go ahead and continue to keep this 7-car field all together. So big props to Jeremy Rittenberg keeping the field together, not letting anybody get strung out behind as they come out of turn number 2 and continue to run single file. Let's go ahead and jump back up here towards your race leaders. That number 23 of Dave Dolliver on the outside, or on the inside there, right behind Deer in front of Dilla, as they will now come into the tri-oval here. Ogletree, he's now going to try to make something on the outside, not going to do anything with it, as he's going to go ahead and drop right back behind that number 2 machine. Everybody has now pretty much got themselves single file. You know, we don't run full length gas or full fuel in these race cars. So these guys are going to have to start thinking about coming down pit road. I would imagine probably within the next 15 laps, especially the ones that have been out front leading the field. So they're probably not going to have as much fuel as everybody else. So it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, when that pit cycle is going to start, as we get an up close look here at Cameron Ardent in that number 3 Costco Ford Mustang, as he is currently running second to your race leader, Robert Day. Robert Day in that Chevy SS, rocking out that Rebecca Creek paint scheme, as they will come out of turn number 4. This front 4, they have now actually separated themselves from the back 3. So Mark Dilla, Jared Ogletree, and Jeremy Rittenberg, they have lost the race lead, and they're continuing to fall back, as Dilla and Ogletree are trying to work together to get back to the front. But again, they need to get that 26 of Rittenberg back on his back bumper, you know, if they're going to want any chance of catching them. So these guys are really going to have to get this formation out a lot better if they are going to want to recatch your top 4. As there is now a little bit over a 2-second gap between your race leaders and back to Mark Dilla. That right there, that's the separation. And let me tell you what, here at EchoPark, the separation because of the draft is going to be absolutely massive as they make their way out of turn number 4. And while things are settled down here for the moment, we're going to go ahead and step away for a quick commercial break. And we will be back after these quick messages. We're cutting back early from this commercial break as we see 3 drivers currently coming down pit road: Dave Dolliver, Jeremy Rittenberg, and Robert Day. Now remember, a couple of these cars were in the 2 different packs, and so now there's a 2 and 2 out there together as you see these drivers coming down pit road. If you guys look at the bottom of your screen, you can see their lap times or their time in pit, as the field will now come out of turn 4 back into turn number 1 here, and they're going to continue to climb up through these corners here. Your race leaders are now going to come down as well, and Dilla, he's going to be stuck out by himself while everybody else is going to come down into the pits. As you see Ogletree there, he's trying to catch up to Deer before they get to that commitment line where they have to be down to the pit speed. And there they go right there, perfect. And so that's going to leave Mark Dilla all to him, lonesome himself out here, which is not very good news. So he's going to need to really think about when he's going to come down. He's going to go ahead and come down this time. Really good, smart move here by Dilla, as he now no longer has people to work with. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how everybody's going to cycle through when it's all said and done, as your race leader of Mark Dillon, that number 2 Red Bull machine, now down on pit road. We are waiting for the field to come through turns 3 and 4 now, to beginning to get their laps back. Alrighty, so now Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent, Jared Ogletree, these guys are coming out of the pits now. And now we're going to come back here to the 2 machine. He's now exiting the pit road. And now he's going to get up through the gears here. And now here comes the field now. So this right here just shows you him coming down by himself, how much this is absolutely going to hurt him here, as these guys have taken over the race lead here from Mark Dilla. He was just now finally getting up to more speed here, coming down, coming into turn number 3 now. Jeremy Rittenberg, he had a very lengthy pit stop there in that number 26 machine. I believe he got caught speeding on entry. So he got caught speeding on entry. That means he had to serve his penalty this time. So that dropped him just about 1 to 2 laps back now. Or 1 lap down from your race leader. So that's definitely not what Rittenberg needed here tonight. But as of right now, he is now last in the field. Catching back up now with Griffin Deer and Cameron Ardent. This is your battle for the race lead at the moment. And then 4 seconds back, you've got Jared Ogletree in his number 27 machine, then Mark Dilla in that number 2. And then 3 seconds back from him, you have Dave Dolliver. And 1 second back from him is Robert Day. So, you know, Robert Day, who was leading out front when the pit cycle started, he is now running 6th. So that is absolutely massive loss there of time for Robert Day in that number 63 machine, as he will go ahead and come back across start finish line now and head back up into turn number 1. Ogletree and Mark Dilla finally getting linked up here in turns 1 and 2. And so now these guys, through 3 and 4, now these guys are really going to have to work hard to try to gain that 7 seconds that they lost to your race leaders of Griffin Deer and Cameron Ardent. Guys doing an absolute phenomenal job here today, keeping themselves out front. They have slowly opened up the gap just a little bit more on Ogletree and Mark Dilla. And this I'm talking about these two right here, Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent. These guys are doing a phenomenal job so far. Alrighty, and while we are just ticking away laps, we have just about 4 laps before we get to our halfway point. So we're going to go ahead and step away once again for another quick commercial break, and we'll be back here in just a couple moments. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EchoPark. That was from our sponsor, Whiplash Sim Cams. They give you all the beautiful views that we are getting absolutely here today. Each track that they have, they give you, oh God, maybe over 20 different views. You know, so starting with, you know, your TV 1, 2, 3, 4, and each camera is all different, set up differently at each part of the track. So you just find the one you like the most and you just roll with it. And then you also have your speed shot camera here on the front straightaway as we get a look at your race leaders. Then you got your pit lane cameras. Got a lot of really good views here as you see these drivers back here trying to get it sorted out. Then you've got your different restart zone cameras here. You know, it all depends on which one you like. And then you also have your beautiful blimp views right here as we can get a really good look here at your race leaders. And then, of course, you've got your normal copper, and then one of the cameras I absolutely love the most, this scenic blimp that you get to see this beautiful racetrack. And then you've got your normal scenic ones. As we're going to go ahead and ride on board here with your second place of Cameron Arden in that number 3 machine, as he's you know, doing what they can just to keep these guys out front. They have gone from a just about a 7.5 second lead all the way to almost a full 10 seconds back to your 3rd place. So these two drivers here are doing what they need to do as we jump back here to Mark Dillon and Jared Ogletree. You know, I'm not sure what the biggest difference is between what both of these drivers are doing, but that little movement right there out of turn number 4 with Mark Dilla, you know, that separates that draft a little bit. And so it does slow him down a little bit more, but your race leaders now have Jeremy Rittenberg in that number 26 machine on the outside of them, and he's going to drop down behind these 3 or these 2, and now he's going to join up with this group. And now next on the radar, it's going to be Dave Dolliber and Robert Day, who are getting ready to go 1 lap down here as well. So this right here, these 2 are getting ready to put your top 4 or 5 drivers down a lap. Definitely not what a lot of these drivers wanted, as you see Dave Dolliber and Robert Day finally getting nose to tail, but it just may be a little too late for that, as your race leaders are now coming up behind them due to the fact that they have that lap down car of Rittenberg marching along with them here in turns 3 and 4 now. And so these guys, because they do have that help, they're going to catch up quick to those 2 cars due to the fact that they have more cars. and they are in a better formation than everybody else. We have just about 45 laps to go here at EchoPark. Everybody started coming down pit road between lap 34 to 37. So we are getting ready to start talking once again about coming down pit road, probably about lap 68. So that gives us just about, 12 more laps before we talk about our second set of pit stops here at EchoPark. As you see your race leaders slowly catching up to Dave Dolliver and Robert Day, as they will go ahead and team up with them. Look to the outside, and they are going to put these guys one lap down. And now you have a battle for getting these cars a lap down. You know, but these cars on the inside, they have every right to battle very hard to keep their lap, you know, from going a lap down. But as of right now, that first and second place of Griffin Deer and Cameron Ardent, they are wicked fast. And so even despite having those three cars on the inside, they're going to quickly pull away from the 23 and 63. They were almost clear, but now they're shooting back on that inside lane. So now they're making their way back up to the inside again. The inside lane trying to get their lap back. The outside lane trying to get them a lap down. And so as of right now, Griffin Deer in that number 6 machine, he is clear, but he's not. Yeah, there it goes. Now Ardent is, well, he was almost clear. Now, do you play strategy here and do you dip down and allow that number 3 to fall back 3 car lengths? Well, technically 4 car lengths now. Or do you keep him right there on your back bumper? But it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Is they're going to continue to work together on that outside lane. But that inside lane still not giving up. Still trying to do everything they can to stay here on the lead lap. But not this time. It looked like Ardent got into the wall there, so that's going to slow up that momentum of the outside lane just a little bit. And here comes that number 23 of Dave Dolliver trying to stay here now once again on the lead lap. This battle up here, guys, is not for the race lead. This is trying to keep that inside lane from going a complete lap down. That orange car of Jeremy Rittenberg, or I'm sorry, that red car of Jeremy Rittenberg, they are 1 lap down already. So he is now 2 laps down, and the two in front of him, they're trying to avoid from going a lap down. But as of right now, that outside lane is prevailing as they continue to circle around this speedway. That time Ardent was able to clear the inside of the 23 of Dave Dolliver, but he wasn't able to get him completely cleared on the exit of turn 4. So they're going to continue to run side by side here on the back straightaway. And at this point in time, it's going to be pretty interesting to see, you know, who's going to prevail and who's not, as they will come out of turn number 4 here once again. Again, we are looking to just about lap 68 for their next pit stops. So we are probably just about 5 laps away from that, maybe 6 laps away from that, as they will come out of turn number 2. That inside lane still trying hard to stay on that lead lap, but the outside too still not giving up, as they want to put these cars quickly 1 lap down. And once they do that, they're going to put 4 cars in total a lap down. So that's, or keep 4 cars on the lead lap, I should say. And that right there makes it very beneficial for that number 6 and that number 3 machine. As they come up through turns 1 and 2, the 23 and the 3 touch just a little bit as they came through turns 1 and 2, but no harm, no foul on this one. As Ardent, he's trying to get Griffin Deer more in front so he can get in front of Dollar Bridget, but he can't get there. He can't get the job done as these guys continue to run side by side. Dollar and Day on the inside. Griffin Deer and Ardent on the outside with Rittenberg following behind the two on the inside. So these guys are definitely trying to do everything they can to stay here on the lead lap. It seems like that outside lane, they just have a better run through turns 3 and 4, where the inside lane has a better run here in turns 1 and 2. So they kind of evenly match themselves out on the front straightaways. No one's really getting too much ahead here, as you see that number 3 of Ardent all over the back bumper of that number 6 machine of Griffin Deer as they come here through turns 3 and 4. But this time, they're going to stay more side by side with that inside lane, as they will come back here into turn number 1 still side by side. All right, you see those drivers now coming down pit road. That's going to be Robert Day, Dave Dolliver, and Jeremy Rittenberg. But Rittenberg, he may have missed that commitment cone line. So it's going to be interesting to see if he will get a penalty for missing that line there. As you see Dilla and Ogletree now passing around them here on the front straightaway. Mark Dilla and Ogletree, you know, they've pretty much stayed to themselves here. They are now just about 12 seconds back behind your race leader. So they're definitely losing a lot of time, despite how much, you know, they have fought, you know, and stayed side by side. But these two, they just seem like they're struggling to catch up, make any time up on the race leaders. It looks like Robert Day in that number 63 machine, he elected to only take 2 tires. Dave Dolliver, he's just now leaving the pits. So that right there just shows you the big difference between the two. See, Robert Day is already on the front straightaway, where Dave Dolliver, he's coming back down to pit road. I think Dave Dolliver got caught speeding down pit road. And so he's going to have to come and actually do a complete drive-through here, I believe. Let's take a look here. As he's coming down back into his pit stop. And yes, he is doing a stop and go. So this is going to put Dave Dolliver down a couple of laps here. So definitely not what Dave Dolliver wanted here tonight. As you see your race leaders now coming down pit road. Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent now side by side as they enter their pits. Cameron Ardent, Ogletree now coming down as well. So your top 4 drivers here coming down pit road, and we have seen now, you know, a couple people getting caught speeding on pit road. So getting caught down on pit road is not a good thing so far for some of these drivers. As you see that number 3 machine now leaving his pit after having a phenomenal pit stop time. As you see that number 2 machine still out there all by him lonesome self. Now he's going to go ahead and come down pit road. So, you know, he's got himself to a point where he's just one lap down altogether. So very unfortunate there for Mark Dilla. Cameron Ardent, Griffin Deer, very close together in time. Then your third place will probably end up being Jared Ogletree. But then further back, you have Robert Day. So these guys definitely very spread out now, as these drivers are circling around the track, and just very unfortunate for a couple of these drivers now. And Rittenberg, he has loaded it up onto the trailer. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 drivers remaining out here on track. Mark Dilla, he's finally leaving the pits. Going to go ahead and get his car up to speed. And they're just way too spread out now, I believe, for them to do anything with it. Mark Dilla in that number 2 machine, he will come out in that 3rd spot. But with him being 5 seconds back to Ogletree and over a minute back to Robert Day, there's just that big separation between the two. But now my information is updating, so he's just about, Robert Day, he is 1 lap down. So, you know, right now, ladies and gentlemen, your race lead and winner is going to be coming between Griffin Deer and Cameron Ardent for the remaining portion of this race, as we now have 25 laps to go here at EchoPark. And this is definitely what Griffin Deer needed here for his securement into the race to next week for the championship. Let me go back here, take one more sneak peek here at the championship points. Let's see here. Yeah, Griffin Deer, Ogletree, and Dakota Nichols. So Dakota Nichols, he is definitely going to be dropping out of this. So I believe the way it stands right now, Griffin Deer is definitely in. Yeah, so Griffin Deer, he is definitely in. Ogletree, he is in. Robert Day, he's going to surpass Dakota Nichols. So those 3 are the ones that are going to be running for the championship next week when we go, when we head over to Texas Motor Speedway for the 100-lap feature over there. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be, at this time, what I believe will be your championship 3. And then they're going to reset it, and whoever finishes in front of the other is going to be your season champion here for the FNX ARCA Series presented by Misfits Motorsports. As you continue to see Griffin Deer here and Cameron Ardent turn laps, they put, I believe that was Dave Dolliver in that number 23 machine a lap down. Yep, so Dave Dolliver, he is now just about 4 laps down now. Robert Day, he is 1 lap down. And they are quickly approaching Jared Ogletree and Mark Dilla. There's just about a 3-second separation between Mark Dilla and Jared Ogletree. But as we continue to turn laps here, we come into 19 laps to go this time by. You know, there's too much separation now between Dilla and Ogletree. I don't think that they're going to be able to do anything with it, as we can just continue to watch these two drive around this speedway, pull away from the rest of the field. You know, we can get around this track in just about 32 laps, and Mark Delia and Jared Ogletree just now went past the start-finish line about 5-6 seconds ago, and now here comes your race leaders passing the start-finish line. So that just shows you the separation between your race leaders and your third and fourth place drivers of Mark Dilla and Jared Ogletree. So if these two continue the way they're going, they may be able to catch up to Ogletree and Dilla, put them a lap down, and then your last two cars on the lead lap will be Griffin Deere and Cameron Ardent to fight it out for the checkered flag at the end of this race. So with it being just these two drivers, you know, Griffin Deere, he's out here leading in front of Cameron Ardent in his number 3 Ford Mustang. So just get ready. I think we're going to see some late race pass, hopefully, here for the race lead when it's all said and done. So we're going to have to wait and see what Cameron Ardent can do in the closing laps here. If he's going to try to use the assistance of the lap down cars, or will Griffin Deere be able to use it first? So really good racing right now here. They are here just maybe about 4 seconds from catching up to Jared Ogletree in that number 27 machine. Here's Ogletree coming out of turn number 4 to the front straightaway, and your race leaders are right there. So yeah, so he's just a couple moments here from going one lap down. And then Mark Dilla, he's about 9 seconds in front of them. So these guys are definitely doing what they can to put the rest of this field a lap down. And I think that's what they're aiming for at this point in the race. You know, we only had 7 cars to start this 100 lapper here at EchoPark. But, you know, once the first pit cycle happened, you know, that separated everybody out. And Griffin Deere and Cameron Ardent from there, they have just been at an absolute tear on the field as they are getting ready to put another driver a lap down. As they come out of turn number 2, you see the separation back to Ogletree there. Still single file racing here as these drivers come out. You know, Griffin Deere, you know, while we're, you know, don't got much going on here, these guys is a really good group of guys. They normally have usually about, you know, 13 to 15 drivers, maybe 16 at a couple of the races out here. These guys are a really good group of guys. If you guys like what you guys are seeing, you know, check these guys out. Head over to just head over to the iRacing League. Look up FNX Racing. You know, you can find them right there, and then you can get invited over to their Discord. They also race on other nights as well. It's just not Thursday nights. So they're getting ready to end their season next week at Texas Motor Speedway. As you see them now coming up, getting ready to put that 27 machine of Ogletree one lap down. And they will go ahead and take it away here with ease as we come to 9 laps to go. And now they have their eyes set on Mark Dilla in that number 2 machine. He is a little bit further ahead. He's got some drafting help out of that number 63 of Robert Day. So that's a big reason why those guys were starting to pull away there. Mark Dilla in that number 2 machine, he has got some help now from Robert Day. So these guys are going to go ahead and continue to march their way around this speedway as they are coming up here on the lapped car of the number 23 of Dave Dolliver. So Robert Day, he's going to just go ahead and sit there, and he's going to pick him up, and now they're going to continue to march their way around this speedway as we are coming here into our closing laps. Now we have 3 cars in a row back here. Mark Dilla, Robert Day, and Dolliver here in a line. And we have the other 3 of Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent, your 2 race leaders, followed by that number 27 of Ogletree in that 4th spot. So these guys are definitely circling around here, 3 drivers in each drafting partners here, as we are coming around to 6 laps to go here at EchoPark. Now, like I said, it's going to come down to the nitty-gritty here, between the 6 and the 3 cars. And at this pace, what Ford Mustang is going to win this race? As I am looking at it, ladies and gentlemen, you have these 3 Ford Mustangs, Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent, and Jared Ogletree. And in the other pack, you have your Chevy SS drivers of Mark Dilla, Robert Day, and Dave Dolliver. So the manufacturers have found themselves now here at the end of this race. So who is going to bring home their Mustang into the race, into the victory lane tonight? That's the big question we have. And right now, Griffin Deer in that number 6 machine, he has it. There's that 27 of Jared Ogletree trying to make a move on the outside to, I guess, to get one of his laps back. But he's by himself. Ogletree, that's not going to work, my dude. Go ahead and continue to sit there, run right behind these 2 drivers. That's going to be your best bet for now as we continue to circle around this speedway. As you see, Ogletree once again making a run on that outside. Why? I don't know. I think he's just bored at this point. Now he's going to get behind the 6. The 6 is going to use him as a draft. But here comes that 3. It separates those 2 drivers just a little bit as we come to 3 to go this time. And now with Ogletree behind Ardent, he's going to have a good push here. So it's going to be very interesting to see, if Ardent's going to decide to use it to his advantage and pass him, or if he's just going to stick right behind your race leader. And as of right now, it looks like he's sticking behind the race leader as they will come out of turn number 3 and 4 this time by. And they will get the popsicle sticks from our flagman, Barney. 2 laps to go this time by. It comes down to Griffin Deer, Cameron Ardent for your race win. And how much is Ogletree in that number 27 going to play a factor into who wins this race? Coming down the back straightaway as they leave it now, and they got one more time to come through here. You see that number 3 car laying off just a little bit. He's possibly thinking about making a run. Here he comes to the start-finish line. White flag this time by Ardent. Griffin Deer side by side for the race lead right now. It looks like Ogletree is going to stay right behind your race leader of that number 6 machine, and he's going to give Griffin Deer a good push here on the back straightaway. So this here is what will make him win this race. But here comes Ardent now fighting back to the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to come down to the line. who is going to have it coming into the tribal. They bang, but it's going to be Griffin Deer in that number 6 machine for the race win. Mark Adila and company is going to come across start finish line now, as that's going to end out our race. But ladies and gentlemen, your race winner is going to be Griffin Deer in that number 6 John Deere Ford Mustang, thanks to some help from a lap down driver of Jared Ogletree. That's definitely going to be a very frustrating finish there for Cameron Ardent, as he didn't have any help, but he did his best, and the separation between the two was just 3,000ths of a second. That right there was your separation between your race leaders, 1,000th or 3/1000ths of a second. As you see, Griffin Deer burning it down. Let's go ahead and take one more short commercial break. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing order. So your race winner is going to be Griffin Deer in that number 6 machine, with Cameron Ardent coming home second. Third is going to be Mark Dilla. Jared Ogletree will bring it home fourth. Robert Day fifth. Dave Dollarburst sixth. Jeremy Rittenberg will bring it home seventh. And Zachary Tyler, who had some sort of mechanical issue on his number 03 machine, was unable to start today. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and take a short commercial break. And when we return, we will talk to our top 3 drivers. We'll see you here in just a couple moments. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EchoPark Speedway, where we just witnessed a very fun, fascinating race between some of these drivers. Griffin Deer, your race winner, but I'm not seeing these guys up here. But yeah, so I don't see these drivers up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull down. I can't pull him down. Side face. Well, let's go ahead and jump up here with these guys. We're running the GT5. Hey guys, it's Mike up in the booth. How you guys doing? Doing pretty good. I just want to touch up here right before we end the broadcast here. Sorry to butt in on your guys' road racing activity. So with your finish here today in 5th, does that lock you into the race next week for the championship, Robert? Alrighty. And I know Griffin Deer, driving that number 6 machine, he's been very strong all season, and looks like he's definitely absolutely locked in. Griffin, do you got a copy? There he is. Man, Griffin, tell me about your race today, and congratulations on your win. And tell me about holding off Ardent there at the end.
part of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. I think it was Jared then. I think it was Jared probably.
Yeah, I backed off and let you guys duke it out because you can affect the outcome there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
that
I think that might have been the case, but at the end of the day, I think it was good racing between the two of us, and yeah,
oh,
maybe Cam's not super happy with it, but
yeah. Jared Ogletree, that he was the one that was with you guys at the end. And he decided to stick with you for the last couple laps while Cameron tried to fight on the outside. I mean, he almost had you coming to the line. The finish was 0.003 of a second difference. So he held his own out there by himself. So can't complain too much out of Cameron, and just what a dominating race for you guys today.
yeah, I appreciate that. That was it was a lot of fun. It was a good race.
And while we've got y'all in here, David, driver of that number 23 machine, uh, I'm assuming you got caught down speeding down pit road. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I was already a lap down anyways, and I get speeding on exit. So
Okay, yeah. So because I was like, well, Dave Dolliver, he's coming back out on track now, and he's going to catch up with. Wait, why is he coming back? Ah, okay.
40 seconds. that's forever,
God,
man.
it really is. I that is actually something I wish iRacing would actually fix. Because I think in real life, if you get caught speeding on exit, it's just a drive-through. So that's definitely unfortunate there for you, Mark. What you had a pretty decent run coming home third. You were able to catch up with Robert Day and Dave Dolliver at the end. Tell us about your day.
Oh, it was going great until Jared hit me, gave me a 4X and rear wheel damage before the first pit cycle, and that's what slowed me down. Then I ended up running with him for half the race, and I hooked up with David and Robert there at the end. At the end, we was really moving there. We had 3 cars together, and we was making up a lot of ground on the leaders, but it was way too late.
Yeah, those three Chevrolets definitely. Once you guys got together, you guys were definitely going really fast there. But congratulations on your third place, Griffin. Congratulations on your first, and can't wait to see what happens next week when we go to Texas for the season finale.
Yes, sir. And just doing the fuzzy math, it's going to be Griffin, Jared, and myself headed to Texas, winner take all.
Alrighty. So, what's your thoughts heading into that race next week?
It's my home track, so I got some practice to do.
Well, I'm not going to ask Griffin what his thoughts are because we know so far, no matter where I've seen him, he's wicked fast. So, he's definitely going to give you a good run for your money.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Alrighty, guys. We will see you guys next week in Texas.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys heard, it's going to be Griffin Deere, Jared Ogletree, and Robert Day running for the championship next week at Texas Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining us right here on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing. And a big shout out to Robert Day and company for putting on this league. Through Misfits Motorsports. So big shout out to Misfits Motorsports. Thank you guys for giving FNX, a beautiful place to call home here on the iCast Racing Network. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, season finale next week, right here on the iCast Racing Network, live from Texas. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next time. And remember, as always, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do in life, have fun doing it. And if it's not fun, you make it fun. Until next time, happy time zones.
This has been a production of the iCast Racing Network powered by iRacing. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.